Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Ajuna Sharawat, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with industry leaders, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to achieve with these sessions that are gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry magnate on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mandar Naik. Currently working as the head of Vigilance and Intelligence at Kontact Global, Naik handles background verifications, audits contracts, investigates and reaches verdicts of POSH claims. Having had a great amount of work experience in the police department and having reached the position of Assistant Commissioner of Police from Sub-Inspector, he has great skills required in vigilance and intelligence, namely fraud detection, soft interrogation techniques, incident investigation, legal acumen, and camaraderie, extending them to effective communication, collaborative work, interdepartmental coordination, and so on. Welcome, Mandar, to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you, Anuja. Thank you for a very illustrious introduction of me.
You are such a person. Just trying to do justice to this whole illustrious work that you have done.
Thank you once again.
Mandar, you have worked for the police department for the most part of your life.
Yeah.
However, in the beginning, you worked as a bank clerk. How did you come about with the transition from the public sector to state government and now to corporate sector?
Prior to answering this question, I would like to illustrate my life in brief. And then you can understand how transition has been taken place. From college life or school life, I was of the opinion of, जैसा in Amitabh Bachchan said, पैरों पे अपने खड़े होकर दिखलाओ तो ये जमाना तुम्हारा है. So I'm following those lines. Started with working at a library after during vacation of 10th. I started working. Since then, I've seen that thing. Thereafter, in school life, we were scouts and guides. I was a member of Scout. So there was a term, khari kamai was there. So we have to go outside, earn something and donate it to the society. This was the concept of khari kamai. So I also was a part of that activity, which is activity considered as ESG nowadays. So it was in 1976 or something like that. I used to sell newspapers on road for say profit of 1 paisa per paper, like that. And then had done it for a week and then accumulated certain sum and donated it to the Scouts Guide. This was my first step towards ESG ranking, you can say now. But it gave me great pleasure while earning and giving it to the others for the society, like that. So this was the first. Then I started working with library. I worked there for 3 months. I learned a lot while doing. So I learned book binding. Book binding, you don't have to do nowadays. We used to gather papers, your notebooks remaining unused pages, leaflets of the notebooks, and then at the year end, in the vacation, we used to collect it, and then I used to bind that so it can be used in later year. This is again recycling. You can say recycling is the term used, widely used. That time we are doing it such for fashion and passion. This is again after the, as soon as I started growing up, I went to college. Thereafter, I learned a lot from my sports activities. I opted for technical when I was in 11th and 12th. Technical taught me carpentry work, blacksmithy work, forgery and all these things, turning work, lathe machine. I worked on lathe machines. I started growing and I used these tools, learning tools, while in working at my home. I used to drill a lot in my home. So it was like learning, it is being utilized in for sole purposes. After we graduated, I opted for MSc statistics. There also I learned a lot. This is a way to continuous learning in my life. Statistics taught me probability and analysis, where we can have this now. Probability is turning as risk analysis and all these things that helped me in having this. So this was the learning throughout my life. This helped me. The team events like basketball, volleyball, football, kabaddi, tennis, and other track and field events. This activity taught me to team building and team spirit. So these abilities I have developed in myself. And then, of course, we have to earn something. पैरों पे अपने खड़ा होना है. Then after graduation, I started giving competitive examinations. It was a first thing that I wanted to start earning on my own. So first opportunity struck me was a clerk cum cashier in State Bank of Hyderabad. I grabbed it, though I was continuing my education as MSc. I grabbed it and started doing work with the bank. It was in a remote village in a district of Buldana. Still, I went over there. I was working as a bank, and I was so fast in calculating. There is a system. There was a system rather for balancing the balance sheets and all these things. Ledgers were balanced after the working hour. Till 2:30 was the working hours, and after lunch for half an hour, thereafter we have to balance all the ledgers and all this thing. Banking operations taught me this, and I excelled in that also because of the bookkeeping accounts was one of my subject when I was in 9th standard. I used to complete my balance sheets within an hour and free to go. Others who were working, fellow workers were aghast. How can you complete this much? Still new, without any mistakes, you are doing it. So again, there also I excelled because of this. And when working this, I also gave examination MPSC and I passed for PSI. Same time, I have also passed for forest officers examination also. Then, as I was in NCC, I was a senior officer, disciplinary force was my first option. So I opted for PSIs and work there. So you can say that I don't dream, I hunt goals. So once that goal has been achieved, it was not my goal, but in fact, my goal was SMART. That is, you can say, SMART is a acronym: sizable, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So this first goal was achieved, then my priority changed. A priority change. Still, I worked. There was upgradation, regular upgradation of work as seniority proceeds. I was promoted as inspector, and thereafter as I was a ACP. All of this gave me execution first when I was a sub-inspector, then supervision and policy making. When as an ACP, I had to I'm instrumental in policy decision making at district levels, at my level. So this is again as a comparing, I was living a corporate life in government sector. So I don't find it very much difference as in a government sector and corporate sector. Only thing that in government sector, we are more precisely more what do you call reserve. We are not open. As I also acted as a information officer and appeal officer under Right to Information Act. So I could very visualize that key where we are lacking. We are not open. We are not open to the public, so that our work is hampered. So I work like specialized branches in ACB, Anti-Corruption Bureau, then CID, airport security, traffic. This make me think about, because in these areas I had got very much contacts along with this corporate sectors, people from corporate sector. So I always used to compare my working style and their working style. Openness, collaborative rather than competitive. Same time soft but rigid at the same time. Shrewd, are the whatever qualities of a corporate officer should be there. Though, so I used to implement it. Like I practice skills like disaster management, risk analysis, HR functions like man management, capacity building, event management. These are the skills. I named it after my retirement, because till then we are not using these terms in my police department. We are not using this in government sectors, whatever that is. But when I analyze my life and with the corporate sectors, then these are the words we can say what were we do. I can quote some of these incidences where disaster management work. You might be remembering 1992 bomb blast, Mumbai bomb blast. That was the first blast was at share market itself, and the first police person to reach the spot was me. I was there along with my 6 colleagues. The first person. Then when I reached the person, I had to perform disaster management job. So I worked there without knowing what is disaster management.
Absolutely.
Now, right? I worked whatever necessary in that place. Mob control was there. Then rescue operations were there. All these operations, all this terminology, I am applying it to now. So you can understand these are the ways my transition is happening, and I don't count this transition in corporate sector. This is not actually transition. It is a second inning I am playing in a different way, you can say. Only part is that now I will be a decision maker. Implementation part will be given to some other persons that I have to check.
Absolutely. And Mandar, you have continued your professional development, supporting it educationally. What is it that has kept you motivated into upskilling yourself?
That is also an interesting instance, you can say. Continuous learning. When we finished our graduation, it was in a science stream. When I entered a banking sector, it was a different, still learning going on. I have to upskill, I had to upgrade myself to accommodate with the banking style of working. Again, I shifted to a police department from banking. Again, a totally different, diversified environment was there. You can say when I was in probation period, I was working at Bid. You heard of it, Bid?
Bid.
Yeah, the Bid, district Bid.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Gopinath Munde's place. You can understand that. He is not now there, but in 1987, 88, when I was first posted over there, my first posting after training, I was on probation period. And one sudden morning, I was allotted a case to investigate under section 409 of IPC. What is 409 of IPC? It's misappropriation by a public servant.
Mm-hmm.
So it was handed over to I saw the papers, and I decided to take guidance from our seniors. The then senior was almost 18 years of experience. I went to him and asked for how I can investigate, how to properly investigate this thing. So I remember still his face. He said, Mandar, you do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I have not investigated such a case in my 18 years of life.
Oh.
This instance and case is in my hand. This compelled me to go through the law books again and again, interpret the meaning of legal language. That legal language is difficult, we can say. Now I can say that it is just only interpretation we do. But that time, it was a difficult language, legal language. So I had to go again and again and interpret the meaning of legal language, and then investigations, actions were there thereupon after learning from that. So I has to, this instance made me aware of this thing. I have to upgrade myself every time, upskill myself. So I have to go on through. This is what happened. So just after that, in general election 1992, you can say, 1992 was the year where T.N. Session was Chief Election Commission Officer, and whole scenario of election pattern was changed because of him. Today also we thank him for doing a certain governance in that system. But in that time, when these direction, daily one new direction used to come, and every directions, as a police, we have to implement that in our sectors. So again, reading implementation of People's Representative Act 1952 was our primary aim. We have to learn. Then again, I just then that year passed. Next year, on 12th March 1993, a first blast of 12 blast series happened at share market building. I was working in that jurisdiction. MRMR police station is jurisdictional area. So I was the first person to reach the spot where this bomb shoot happened. So again, what has to be done? No formal training was given to me regarding mob dispersal or regarding mob dispersal and disaster management. This is a disaster happened. After going over there, rationalized thinking made me act upon that. Mob control, rescue operations, hospitalization of this injured persons, protection for antisocial element was also a part of that. Then reporting and protecting the evidence at that place was all such challenges was there. But I learned through acting on it. Then thereafter, I didn't have to worry about this any disasters like this. Because this was the biggest incidents in my life and at the early stages of my work history. Then in traffic branch, we have seen every policeman working on road, asking for POC, you may be asking. But this work we have started early in 1997-98. We started working. A special team was there. I was leading that team. And we have been allotted this particular job to act and take necessary measures for vehicular emissions regarding vehicles. This gave me a chance again as science graduate. These technical terms, English terms, I could easily understand. As you can, I could easily interpret the same. I could easily converse with the NGOs working for the cause. This was the again upskilling for me. Then I started on my own. Nobody asked me that we will start a sample survey or something, inspection survey of vehicles. That time a new agenda was there with the NGOs and all the common public that vehicles above 15 years should be banned. It was there. But when I analyzed with this 1500 vehicles, that was totally diversified data was there. I selected 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 15, and about 15 years. 4 categories were there for the group of these vehicles. I checked it for pollution. Then again, as per the law, 115, 116 of CMVR are the rules meant for this particular section, vehicular pollution. So working on that, I planned a particular way of inspections. I used to give first inspection if that is found that that particular vehicle is polluting. I used to give them 7 days notice. As per the law, when 7 days notice is given, I asked him to get it corrected. That your vehicle should be corrected for the emissions levels. And after a few days, again, I found that people are coming with the vehicles which are not found not polluting. Their vehicles were under control, emissions control. So I found that amazing. Then again, I started interviewing the drivers, the owners of the vehicles. Then I found that a little maintenance of the vehicle can reduce the emission. This is the same case with the vehicles of above 15 years also. Even heavy vehicles like trucks and all these things, 10% above, which we call is heavy vehicles, they also do the same thing. They are going to some mechanic, asking him to do the repairs for the pollution, and then they get it back. And then we found that they are not emitting. So this report I have put it in a 1998 version of Mr. Lal's committee, the then Transport Commissioner of Maharashtra, and he was the head of the committee deputed by High Court of Mumbai. And in this case, I have put this record. Unfortunately, again, here, I had stored this data on a 286 computer. Do you remember 286 computer? What was it? Most of us may not be knowing what 286 is. The first version of the computers. Then came 2.1 Windows, 2.1, 3.1, 5.1. I work on these. So unfortunately, 286 what data was there, and I had fed this data in WordStar 4. WS4 was a input language. I stored it, and unfortunately, one day suddenly light went off. No inverter was there, and all data lost. So I was helpless, and I started thinking I have to do something like that. Then I upgraded myself. I learned Windows 2.1. I learned till Windows 98. Then started storing data in 1.44 floppy disk. Again, most of us may not be knowing 1.5 floppy disk drive was there. But I worked with that. And again, as time passes, these are extinct, and the data stored was lost in that. I don't have any data that to claim my this achievement. As a working with the anti-corruption bureau and CID, we used to investigate economic offenses. Again, where transaction of complex natures supported by authorized audit reports and all these things were there. And reading all this material, which was not at all our priorities in working working as a normal police. As interested, upskill myself, I had to read it, go to the persons, ask for the help. What is this? What is this? What is this? And I've got it done. I got a guarantee that I can read the audit report and pinpoint any misdeeds in doing it. Case like PwC, Satyam, it may not occur when I'm there. I can guarantee. So this is upskilling myself, helped me in doing my work, day-to-day work also. That's all. So it is a long story again. Each instance is like this. It's challenging job. Throughout my year, I have to upskill myself.
Okay. As you were talking about technology and then data being lost. So now the question on technology, what changes have you seen in terms of technological integrations, and have they been more in favor or disfavor of the police department or the investigation and vigilance industry? This is a very interesting question we want the answer for.
Yeah, it is interesting, as well as it is sort of demoralizing on the part of police department. I was inducted in police department in 1986. A years passed. Since 1992, it was a very interesting year. Some of the instances I told you in 1992, it was a sessions year, you can say. So that during that time, 1992, a computerization of moment of computerization of police stations were started. And Mumbai started basically. And Mumbai, we had almost 70 police stations that time. Now it has been increased to 100 and something like odd. But computers were installed. It was a TCS company who was the supplier of this instruments. So it was installed. Very keen like instructions were that it should be kept in a separate room. Then it should be in a environment of AC. So it was installed by 1992, and all computers were installed, one in each police station. And as far as I remember, nobody can go in that room. It was prohibited. For us, it was prohibited. You can go. So naturally, we can't use that. It was technology was available, instruments were, resources were there, but we can't use them. I couldn't upscale myself on that front. Year after past, I could remember in 1997, I was transferred to traffic branch, Mumbai police. And there also, I used working with data. So as I said, 286 was available there. I used to start. Then to upskill myself, I have to take tuitions, you can say, calls from outside sources on my own. We can I have to go to a nearby institute, computer institute, where I have to learn basics. But I think this helped me a lot. Still, no internet use was there. No interaction, Mrs. Emails were there, but I don't think everyone is using that. It was a stage. During those 98, 99, again, whatever you've seen, integration of forms, 7 integrated forms are there. CCTINS, now a name, which has been implemented by Wipro. That work was going on since 1998. It was supposed to, that forms are supposed to be starting from FIR to filing a charge sheet in the court. It is like that, that total work took 20 years, almost 20 years to integrate. The technology has to be integrated with the police station. Ability of the police persons has to be increased regarding that, how that, and this took 20 years. By I was working in Kinwood. Kinwood is again remote place. You might be having, it is stamped as Nakshal area. That area also, we didn't have internet continuity. We were facing that problem. So there also, we didn't find any integration of code procedures and our CCTNS procedures that were there. Again, I found that it was told that if you want FIR from Assam to read over here in Maharashtra, you can find that software will convert in your language, say Marathi or English, and you can see that in that language, that way. It was told, but I have not gone through this such transition because we are not using that technology to that extent because of lack of knowledge, we can say, lack of, it is reluctancy to use advanced technology. Still, it is same. When I left, I retired from active services. So it was still there. Last few years, I can say that till last few years, means 5 to 10 years back, we used to call Gmail as a government mail. So when I started saying people that Gmail is not a government mail, it should come with government.in, gov.in, @government.in. So they were not using that. Most of the officers are also not using this NICE mail. NICE has provided that, and every officers have been provided with this thing, but they are not using government mail. Again, there are reasons. You can say then IoT and all these things, supply chain, are the things that are far away. When I was in Nanded in 2003, I know that facial recognition software were available, and of course at the some cost, but it was not being used by most of the part in Maharashtra. Only a cyber cell and a computer lab rather in based in Mumbai used to do that. So this integration of these things is still on. We are outsourcing. We are actually outsourcing this cyber forensics and the cyber security functions also. We don't have our own person, a system administrator, to look for that, and then no cyber security vulnerability tests are carried out by third party. We have got. Now I'm using this term third party and all these things after coming out of it, because I have to integrate with corporate sector. So that is very interesting that for vigilance and intelligence, again, it was not at all the part of computerization or technology was not at all part. It was totally done on man-made basis. Decision making is still done on the basis of virtue. So still a long way to go. Vigilance, intelligence, whatever been by sitting here and going through Google, it is not a vigilance or intelligence. We can intelligence a collection of is limited to the collection of information, but intelligence is the thing where we'll analyze this knowledge sector and use that analysis for the benefit of the corporation. Is the main intelligence is that. Vigilance is also that. What vigilance you do in corporate sector, we are seeing that whatever is shown is not in practical. In Marathi, there is a verb, dista tasa nasta, and whatever is seen, it is not like that actually. So where goes vigilance with the use of this technology? So again, it should be done for a particular level, and then you have to make our own decisions by our own virtue, by our experience. So I can say that by working with various sectors in police departments, various sectors, we are, because traffic is different sector, anti-corruption is different, CID is different. That helped me to analyze this key IoT and blockchain, why this is being used. Is there any evidential value? We are analyzing like this, whether they have some evidential value which is can be readily usable by us. Who is going to prove it? No. If you can see that in a court, I have to depose, I have to give evidence. How I am going to prove it? Unless I don't have knowledge. Again, court asks, are you a But expert, are you expert? I would rather reply no. I am not expert because I don't have that certifications. Qualification, you can say, yes, I know that's technology and I used to, but knowing and being expert is different. Courts ask for expertise. So it is easy way to outsource this to some expert. Again, why these experts will do that? Is there any sources for them to earn from this? So there is a little chance. In this way, technology is there, but it has to be used by a police department or any government sector, you can say, any government sector. I know e-governance started long way back. Still there are government sector offices where no e-office is established. So this is the case of evolving technology and everything you can put. So this is my views, personal views, because I have seen it not working with ours, because everything I cannot do. As an executive officer, I want to work on field. I have to report it. So everything I cannot do. I cannot sit in this place, in this seat for more than half an hour. Again, for some other case, I have to go outside. So who will report the case we previously done? I have to depend it on someone else. So when I am depending on someone else, it is very unlikely that he knows the technology. So it is a long way to go. It will happen, okay. It will take a long way still.
Absolutely. You did talk about how in your childhood you did activities to help the society. You loved associating with such groups like scouting. They already have a mission, which you talked about. But still, I would like to know what has made you interested in ESG.
Yeah, it is again a story. We can say a story is a reality. If you have faced whatever I have faced, I have seen, I have experienced. While in childhood, I used to live in a society where gutters were open. Gutters were open, and every household woman used to clean the area in front of her own house. What she used to do, she used to sweep and put that kachra in
inside, outside just nara, yeah.
In Nali most of the time, or in a place where boundary of other household starts. Right, sweeps and keep it aside. Aside means where the boundary starts of other household. Because of choking of gutters, then spilling water was there. Dirty water was spilled and used to spray in houses in front of us. This activity was a cause of frequent quarrels between families. This was the reason, because local self-governments were not functioning at the optimum level. Again, lack of awareness of hygienation and sanitation was there. This made me think of this, because again, I am reverting to my old days now. And connecting it, I have seen that we used to do a lot of things regarding that. We used to collect that kachra and keep it on the kachra patti jo bolte hain, udhar we used to place it. Thereafter, we shifted to an area which is, means you can say that well-organized society was there. But that doesn't solve. Traveling distance increased. When traveling distance is increased, that time we didn't face vehicular pollution. Now we can understand if one vehicle was going over, that there 1,000 vehicles are going on. So again, I started thinking on that also, because when travel distance, meanwhile there were spots where we have to cross that spots while putting our hands on my nose. Mostly it was a smell of ammonia. This happened, and then again stunchy smell was there. To avoid that, we have to take a detour. Again, travel distance still furthermore increases, and all these things that happens. And then I started thinking on this. It comes to EGS. EGS term was not there. When I started working in police department, I came across various problems of female staff. Then as I got promotions, I got opportunity to inquire into the sexual harassment cases of the female staff. POSH Act was not there. So whenever inquiries were there, it is a very this is burdening on me to prove that only for the departmental action was there. No stringent action will be taken on the particular culprit. Again, this only, or that is sexual harassment case from a police station was dangerous things. That has to be dealt with different norms. Sexual harassment from other side, it is again different things. Other side means other societies members also. It is also there, because in those days, females, policemen standing on a road for bandobast and all these things was a rare sight. It was not their job. It has to be like that. It is to be understood like that. It was not their job. Why she is standing in uniform? That were saris were there. Well, uniform means pant shirt was not compulsory. At the most, you can salwar kameez was there. But when they stand in front of their attitude of the people was that why they are there. Then they started looking at the police woman in such a way that she feel guilty. This is also type of sexual harassment at workplaces. The workplace is not fixed in these cases. Workplace is an area where we are working. It is normally we can say that it is the area of 4 square kilometers in the police station, area of police station jurisdiction. Similarly, then when we are working in police station, cases like DV Act also came afterwards. Domestic Violence Act. It was happening over there. Then what remedy was there with us? We have to call these parties and counsel them on various stages, and work upon it. Amicable solution will be there, then it will be settled on, still going on. It is like that. So this interested. Dowry prohibition was there. Dowry Prohibition Act, it was still there. It happened with work women also who are working with us. This work culture at that workplace is hampered, causing discipline in the product, decline in productivity. Because if she has been harassed by someone in workplace, so naturally she is emotional intelligence doesn't allow her to work properly. It is like that. There are ample of cases like this. Then when I was superior I used to conduct departmental inquiries regarding this. And whenever I conduct this departmental inquiry regarding sexual harassment, I tried to give a proper attention to the what we call this the problems of this woman workforce. So when POSH came, I readily accepted that it is my field of view, and which is now that has been inculcated in ESG norms. That is the way I got attracted in ESG. ESG is again a not new term for me, because when I correlate, we had women working at mills, whatever mills you are there in Mumbai, they were there. Kohinoor mills and all these things, mills were there. And now, that time also, the owners of these mills had constructed shawls for the workers. So this is CSR activity they have done. But when that strike, 7-year-long strike happened, I was working in the area where these shawls were there. That time again, I came across harassment, sexual harassment of women. Because of no work to do, and the male parties of these families got attracted towards drinking a lot, and then they got no earnings were there. So that was a system over there, and then they got adjusted for certain things. It was an adjustment or something like that, you can say. But sexual harassment was there. I witnessed that. I interviewed females like this. I decided whenever I have opportunity, I will work on that. Mostly regarding POSH acts, I will give my 100% to the cause.
That's very reassuring.
Yeah, this is regarding POSH only, but again, nature, for the nature, environmental
Absolutely.
causes, there are different stories of mine. I'm a trekker.
Oh.
I used to trek a lot. Nowadays, whenever I go to trek, I see soil erosions, and then landslide was there. Reasons, I used to find reasons behind it. These are the social cause, but I had got a limited scope to work on it. Because I was working. But now with ESG funds, I can do a lot.
Right.
So this was my aim, my goal, you can say.
Yeah.
So ESG will be a boon for me to act upon my ideas.
Since you are an ESG certified corporate governance expert now, what values do you wish to add to the corporate world?
Yeah, almost I have put my views towards ESG, but see, it is a personal perception that if we leave present PPP model, that is profit, profit, and profit, and adopt a new PPP model, that is profit, people, and planet.
Oh,
I'm sure we'll achieve proposed goal by ESG. Because COP26 has put up certain goals in front of every nation who has participated, and from then we have a lot of activities going on in this regard. So my goal is to make ESG as a major differentiator. As a police officer, my first priority was to maintain law and order in my jurisdiction. Here, I took help of so-called ESG or social government. Maintaining law and order was first order. Firstly, I achieved by getting satisfactory work done from my diversified staff. We have got a very diversified staff. Policemen are, you visit any police station, you can see the diversified. Nowadays, almost 30% women are there. Constabulary is from various sects, and they are very staunch believer of their own sect. I can say that this is getting work done from these staff is very challenging, and I had to do it. I had done it. I used certain HR functions for that. Again, this HR functions is a term given to that work of mine present when I got in corporate sector. Knowing the needs of society by approaching them, addressing them properly, appropriately, the lack of education, water scarcity, soil erosion, conservation of soil, community was the topic handled by me. That is again a topic incorporated in ESG terms. So I don't find it a very different word I'm entering in. It is there. When we want to make ESG as a major differentiator, a SWOT analysis will be your tool which will help you. That is, again, SWOT analysis is my upskilling, because I had got a course on the risk management where I learned that SWOT analysis. That is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So I can afford my ability in extending strength, whereas decreasing weaknesses, resulting in expand, secure, and catch up or minimize the risk in any corporate body. It depends. Business culture varies from business to businesses. Large corporates, large conglomerates. So there may be a similarity, but medium sectors are different cultures. So in this culture, I will see that involvement of stakeholders, all the stakeholders, building sustainability culture in our staff will be my major aim, because I have done work on practical work on this. Those nomenclature was different. So I will infuse safety culture in my workplace as if 36 years of discipline services and gave me a different angle of safety. Of course, safety culture is there. Safety culture will be a major tool in my hand when working with the companies.
Now, coming to the last part of our session today, as you're aware, Mandar, that we have been building the industry Magnates community for cross-pollination of knowledge and a community of independent directors for having a better corporate governance in the country. What are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
It's amazing. Amazing, I can say. A big applaud for WDC initiatives from my side. I could understand the tremendous efforts taken by WDC team in formulating course structure and imparting the insights through mentors like JS, Sundaresh and Jayamurthy. This course brought together many industry experts. Interactive sections made exchange of thoughts processes among the various business cultures. It is amazing amazing for me, because this was rarely have this transaction of thoughts, this interaction of thoughts, brainstorming. This rarely happened in my past life. So I thank you for all efforts taken by WD's team for arranging these sessions and all these things. And thank you very much for you also to interact with me, and I could express whatever my past. I could recall that, working with that. Again, I got a confidence that I can work. I will be a valuable person while working with the corporate sector. I knew that. And I got this. Gave me confidence.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. It was very inspiring conversation, very informative. Thank you for joining us today. I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. And thanks again for the very motivating feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted.
Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.